All right, guess this is Red Pine Lake, technically. It's kind of hard to see. There is a lake there, technically. Somewhere in there. So I just gotta clip up my pack. You can see that there's a kind of some snow sloughs kind of over there-ish. Yeah, it's nice. You can't really see the Five Horn from here. I've come to learn it's actually over that ridge, but there is I guess you can even see kind of a trail up there of people making their way up to the Five Horn, which seems kind of nuts to me. I wouldn't do that. It'd be kind of a risky. Like you can kind of see, wow, snowboarders or skiers made their way down there. I guess there's people up there right now. What the hell? There's 3 of them, and I kind of want to watch them go down if they do it. That'd be kind of fun to watch. Interesting. Well, anyway, they're just taking their time, I guess. Do it. Screw it. Anyway, well, yeah. Anyway, I gotta go. Don't got forever. Yeah, this is Red Pine. You can hike up that way. I guess people are even doing that right now. I wouldn't do it. I don't have the equipment mostly, but also I'm not that nuts. There's a lot of snowpack here. So yeah, this is all. Right now we're in late April, just about turn the corner to May. But I've seen snow, a decent amount of snowpack up here even going into June and July. In fact, I seem to recall there's still snow up here in July last year. I have a video evidence that I could look at to prove it, I guess, to know exactly what the levels were if I really cared that much, but I'll just... So yeah, shit. Yeah, this is why I should have brought, for this last leg, snowshoes would be helpful. You can see people kind of using their skis here. My feet are kind of a little bit wet right now, but they'll dry. Oh, one of them's going down right now. This camera isn't good enough to really 1080p. I don't imagine you can see it very well, but you can kind of see people going down. It's fun. Yeah, less exciting from down here than I thought it would be. So yeah, it's gorgeous right now. These pine trees I really like a lot. I don't know what species they are, but they're cool looking. They got like a nice green, interesting, unique needle color, and also the bark is like a kind of like a really interesting silver-ish gray. That not all pine trees have, I guess. I don't know what species of pine tree this is, but it's very cool. I like it. Like I like the contrast of like the green to like the bark color. It's really, really nifty. I think it's like a silver. But I mean, it's not. It's like a gray brown, but you know, it's kind of has the effect of looking like a silver with the contrast of everything around it. It's cool. Anyway. Yeah. Figured I would GoPro the pretty part of the hike. I'm not really gonna trail run down because my feet would just go right into the snow if I tried to run. You have to have very careful footsteps. When I say really careful, I mean not very, not really running. You're just carefully, slowly walking, and you want to, you know, have the impulse of your steps to be longer. Otherwise, you're just gonna go right through. Also, you don't want to have all of your weight at once going down on one foot, you know. because then again you'll just kind of break through the snow layer, so the snowpack. Whew. So it's warming up right now, so I think it's a good time to head back because it's about 1 o'clock right now, give or take. Maybe 1:30. I can't tell. Yeah, 1:30. Get a nice view of my feet. Sorry about that, but this is how it goes when you hike. Spend a lot of time looking at your feet. At least when you're hiking in the snow, you are. I mean, in general, you should probably really pay attention to your feet when you're hiking, but more so in these conditions. Passed a few people on the way up that I'll probably see on the way down. Or maybe they turned around, they didn't say go all the way up. That sometimes happens too. Like I was on the fence about if I should go all the way up or not. Mostly concerned about getting a really bad tan from all the sun being out in the snow. Really can get burnt. Plus I didn't bring shades. I'm wearing contacts right now. So the other thing I was worried about was just burning out my eyes. God. Okay. Yep. So this is what a lot of hiking in the snow basically reduces to, is just kind of this. But do it in the snow. Better on your knees than the hike would usually be, if that makes sense. Oh God, someone made a shortcut. But I think that's where I want to be. You want to stay on the most trod part of the path, if that makes sense, because that's going to be the most packed in. Identifying that sometimes hard. Kind of hiking in snow 101. I'm wearing ice spikes right now, but they kind of tend to be less useful the less dense and packed in the snow is. The more like ice the snow is, the better. Glad I brought my water pack. Okay, it's actually possible to run on this part, so I might do that. This is pretty well packed. I appreciate it. Okay. Ooh. I do like trail running, but it's kind of hard sometimes in the snow. Like my foot broke through there, through the snow. I mean, so that's the thing, is like sometimes you feel breakthrough, and then you just don't want to fall in. Well, I mean, falling your face in the snow isn't so bad. Falling on a branch, getting your eye on one of those would suck, but so even though I'm wearing micro spikes, I'm still sliding a bit because there's just a lot of snow. And it's kind of wet. So I'm trying to be careful. Also, okay. Okay, yeah. Oops, some people up ahead. Let's see.
Welcome back.
Hey. Yeah. Let you go. Whew.
Just over this ridge, kind of?
You got a little bit more of an ascent, but you're really close. It's like another, I'm not sure how many feet.
I know, it's hard to...
But yeah, you're on like the last leg.
Sweet.
Uphill part?
Yeah, it is pretty uphill, but it's not too bad. It does, it's less packed in actually on the very last part, so you'll just want to be sure to stay on the main part.
Yeah, we're thankful that other people packed it down with our sneakers.
Yeah, you can kind of usually rely on that, but but after snow, that's like when it's like that's when you definitely need snowshoes. Like you could see someone was wearing them, and I was like, think they're the people that are doing the work for us. So
yeah, it's kind of good metaphor for life. Someone else makes it easier for us.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
You too. Yeah, see, it's kind of hard to gauge, but if you will go through that if you run. Okay. Might have to step aside for a second. Yeah, up here.
Are we close?
You get in there, yeah. I'm not sure exactly how many feet, but you're definitely you have less than a mile, I'd say. Like definitely, I'd probably say like a quarter of a mile maybe left.
Cool.
So it's not too bad. Basically there's gonna be like one final ascent once you're kind of rounding that corner, and then you're there.
Oh, great. It snows.
Yeah, but I brought ice micro spikes, and they barely make a difference.
I was like, I wish we had crampons.
They kind of help until it gets really soft like this. Then it just doesn't do anything.
That's true.
But it's pretty packed in.
Okay. Oh, thanks.
Okay. Oop. Go back on the trail. Okay. Oop. Didn't see there's in there. Let's see. Yeah. Oh. Whew. Okay. Okay. It's a nice little area. That's right, I'm recording video of myself recording video on my phone. It's pretty meta. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to get this picture. So, in terms of avalanche risk right now, the Avalanche Center doesn't really operate this time of year. They did mention though, springtime you gotta be careful still. They mentioned going earlier rather than later in the day, so I could have gone earlier. Warming up snow tends to slough, wet snow. Fresh snow tends to have more serious avalanches, I get the impression. When it's wet, it tends to clump together, get sticky, but you can still get kind of shelving that happens. But my impression is that it's probably fine right now. That's my takeaway. Oh, my feet are going through. Okay. It's kind of fun to run down in the snow, except for the part where your feet are all wet. That part sucks. Okay. Yeah. I'm just resigned to my feet being soggy. I'm gonna have to dry these shoes out when I get back home. I really like these running shoes, but I think they're probably gonna stink. I've done it to another pair of shoes, and I bought these not even that long ago. Like basically, shortly before the quarantine was put into full effect in Salt Lake, basically. So, like a month ago, maybe 2 months. What is time? What is time? What day is it today? I don't even know. It's Saturday. It's gorgeous. So I was like looking at I like this area in particular. It's a cool looking area. In the spring, so the trail doesn't even go through here proper, Right Pine Trail. Technically it goes up that way. You're not really going through this little, I don't know what you call it, ridgeline area in the spring. You kind of skirt the edge of it in some areas and you get to see it, but you're not really going this way. But while there's snow, I've noticed that the trails that people make tend to go through here, which kind of makes sense. Honestly, I get it. It's easier to kind of navigate and figure out where you're going because there's more of a reference point, whereas when you're going through there and there's a lot of snow, it's just like you could be going the right way. I don't know. And plus on top of that, yeah, all those trees that in the winter get weaker and weaker and some fall down, and you just don't want to be going through, you know, an area that has lots of trees and also not necessarily being 100% certain where you're going. I get it. So similarly in the Lake Blanche Trail, similar situation where there are parts of it that kind of go off the trail proper that tend to follow the major landmarks rather than the trail, and makes sense. On top of that is you don't have to do as many switchbacks. You can be a bit more direct in the winter because you're kind of shaping the snow in such a way that you can kind of do fewer switchbacks because you're kind of creating steps almost up the more steep parts in the snow. So it's actually a bit more direct. So I've noticed at least that the distance I travel on this hike in the winter tends to be technically shorter because you're not doing the switchbacks. Marginally shorter, not like significantly, but there's a lot of running, flowing water, especially when we get later, more into the spring, and this starts to melt more and more. You'll always hear running water, and it'll be below you for sure. Everywhere you go, there's going to be some running water. Seems like there's at least 3 feet of snowpack, but this is on a pretty exposed part, so it's probably more melted, so it's probably 3 or 4 feet in places that aren't, like, you know, that as exposed as there. So it's a decent snowpack. Yeah, so depending on where you're hiking, there's, you know, anywhere from 3 to 4 feet of snow below you right now. But then as it starts to melt, you know, it's less and less feet of snow below you, and then you have to start being careful because you could be walking above a stream, not even know it, and then you would break through and maybe hurt yourself, you know, maybe sprain an ankle or something, maybe break a leg even, I don't know. So you gotta be careful in the spring when everything's melting. On top of that, you get a lot of really the water really just rushes down in the spring. Everything's melting, and so the creek is like really loud and has a really strong current. And especially the further down you go, like the creek kind of like near the start of the trail, for example, is just roaring loud. Or will start to be when this all, like, pretty soon, I would say. Definitely it's all going to start melting and coming down. It's not uncommon for there to be additional snowstorms, even into, you know, May and June, at least ones that are up in the mountains, but I kind of suspect that it's not going to be that bad this year. So yeah. Whew. Do. Okay. Yeah. Going down, especially when you're not running down, way easier than hiking up. Like, what is my heart rate right now? 115? Yeah, this is like me walking down the street heart rate. Well, it's more like 90, but still. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. My stomach's rumbling. I need lunch. Had a light breakfast. You see a lot of the backcountry skiing, sliding, paths. Yeah, this feels safe. Yeah, I didn't get the impression that there's I was a little worried. It's like, is it gonna be like avalanche risk? And then now that I'm up here, I don't get that impression right today in particular. We'll see how it goes later. More stuff starts melting, but I think it's more of a slow. It's just gonna be a slow trickle, and then this kind of sloughs kind of like rolling down. But I don't think it's gonna be anything too big in terms of avalanche risk. You might get some, if anything, loose rocks and stuff are gonna maybe be another. Oh my gosh, my foot really went through that. See that? Yeah, be careful. That's why I don't trail run down, because you never know when you'll do that. If you do it the wrong time, you twist an ankle or a leg. Or see that? Someone had a fun time there. They probably, well, didn't appear to fall on their face, so that's something. I've done that. Just completely whiffed it. I hurt myself running on the street more than I have ever done trail running, so street running is way more dangerous than trail running. Maybe not, I don't know, but it can be more dangerous, I guess. If you're careful, trail running is totally safe. To do the right way, I should say. The thing about street running is that there's stuff that's just out of your control, and you have to pay more attention to the fucking street, because if you don't, you can just, if if you're not paying close enough attention, there's a lot of little things that can kind of come at you or not notice, and then you're falling on the asphalt, or getting hit by a car, or clipping a bike, or not noticing, you know, something and face planting, all sorts of stuff. It's probably just because you let your guard down when you street run, but I think I heard someone ahead. Okay. Ooh. Getting windy. Glad I brought my windbreaker. Also, just protect my skin from being burnt to a crisp. I think I am going to be like really red sunburnt when I look at myself in the mirror when I get back home. Maybe not sunburnt, but I will be noticeably tanned, I think. Definitely should have worn sunscreen. Nice. Might just stop recording at some point. I think I've got about, Jesus Christ, slipping. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Do-do-do. All right. Oops. Okay. Yep. Come on. Working our way down. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. I'm guessing. Nah, it's hard to tell. I'm sure there are people that can tell skis from snowboards. I mean, obviously you can't tell, but I mean, what type of, like, I don't know what that is. Like, what type of, it's like a really thin, someone sledding down? That's weird. Or maybe they're just, feet were close together, really close together. Well, maybe that's like a touring ski. Maybe they're really thin. I've heard about those. Well, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe they're really not thin. I don't know. I would have thought you wouldn't want thin if the snow's like wet and not like, oh, like this, you know. But maybe it is ideal to have really thin skis. Yeah, see, they're there over there too. I think those are definitely some type of ski. Yeah, those look very thin. Oops. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Yep, you can hear loud motorcycles now. That means we're getting close to Little Cottonwood Canyon now. Kind of get annoyed by people that take really loud vehicles up the canyons. Because it's echoey. It's like you kind of go up here to escape the sounds of the city, and then those assholes bring it up there with them. It's like, what's the point of going out in nature and then surrounding yourself with that loud, obnoxious, belching engine noise? Okay, nice. Now in your aspens. All right. What is this? Did someone fall down there? What's going on? Oh, my feet are so wet right now. Not a fan. Okay. Probably should have worn well, I have these like really long skiing like socks, but they're way tight on my calves to the point where I feel like I'm like losing circulation. Worried my feet will like fall off or something. They're so tight. It's gross. Yeah, anyway. But seriously though, it is snug. I think it's that way by design, but maybe it's not a bad thing. Uncomfortable maybe is the wrong term too. It's like, it is snug, so, but I worry that it's like bad for my blood circulation. Because I know that if you wear your shoes too tight, for example, you can you can kind of create, I'm trying to think of how to describe it. I had my shoes too tight one year when I was running a lot, and I started to feel like I had like rolled my ankle or broken it. And what was actually happening was I just I must have somehow just had my shoes so tight that I just damaged my feet somehow in a way that felt like I'd broken my ankles or broken something. And I was like, no. And I went to see a doctor about it, and they're just like, no, just don't tie your shoes so tight when you run. Because I was doing that. So kind of concerned about that, but with like super tight athletic attire, socks in particular, that could be a problem. The thing you want to avoid. Okay, so the thing you want to avoid too when hiking the snow is getting snow inside of your shoes. Once it's inside your shoe, it's over. Then you're just, feet are just soggy wet. Someone's behind me. Okay. Or if I should let them go. Okay. Yeah, they really shouldn't be doing that on the main path. It's kind of not good trail etiquette.
Thank you. Hi.
No problem.
Thanks on the left. Anywho, it's
kind of hard to avoid though on this part. I think the main trail and the skier trails just have to go for the same area. This is the only safe connection around this bend, I feel like. That's why I don't wear headphones on this part. Or really, don't really wear headphones when I hike in these conditions anyway. It's because you want to always hear everything, including falling trees or avalanches, you know, stuff like that. Skiers behind you. Skiers ahead of you. Everything. I get annoyed when I see people that, even in the summer, to be honest, when they're hiking by themselves and they have like headphones on and they're clearly not aware of their environment. It's like, it's one thing when you're wearing headphones, but you seem like you're paying attention still. That's fine. It's another thing though when you're just like lost in your world and you have headphones on and you're hiking. Because then you'll end up hurting yourself and then someone else probably. Great. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that part's for the skiers. Let them have it. Oops, probably should look where I'm hiking for getting a scenic view. This is nice. Okay. Not sure how much battery I've got left in this thing. I should probably look. No. Where am I at? Got 10 minutes left, maybe 5, I don't know. We'll get this nice view up ahead and then turn it off. Maybe I can try one down now. Oh yeah, this is nice. This is doable. Backed into. Yeah, kind of breaking through a bit. Look at that. Gorgeous. Yeah, okay. Slow down a bit. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I guess I went ahead. Nice. See all the way down the canyon. No problem. Ooh. Ooh.
Like we can work through this kind of. Yeah. And she had no idea that like things were that bad or whatever. Oh. But
Okay. Nice. Air quality's pretty good. One of the silver linings of the quarantine, which is, just to be clear, is bad, is that the air quality has gotten better. That is one nice thing, especially in Salt Lake, which is a city that doesn't have such good air quality. Doesn't matter what the time of year is, it can be bad. Yep. Let's see. Let's wait up here, maybe.
thank you.
No problem. think starting this hike at 2 o'clock is not wise. Because for me, it's probably going to be about 2 hours and 45 minutes by when all said and done for me, and I'm pretty quick. And if you're starting at 2, you're taking 3 hours, you're getting back at 5 or 6. Because it's, well, I mean, sunset's about 8. So you're getting, I don't know. Plus you don't want to be, it's just getting more and more slushy as the day goes on. So it's also a bit riskier, it's slightly more dangerous, I feel like, to have like snow melt that's causing like slushy avalanches. You're more likely to get that, I feel like, in the late afternoons and then the early morning, or even the afternoon. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I probably should have started earlier than when I did. I had a late start today. Okay, now, unfortunately, this is where I should go, but okay. I might have to turn this, stop this recording at some point. But this is why I think it's called red pine, among many reasons. But one thing I noticed, that the dried out pine needles tend to be kind of red color. And when I was hiking up here one year, when the snow is in the spring, you'll reach a certain layer of the snowpack where there's a lot of pine needles, because that's when fall was, and that's when a lot of pine needles were falling. And that layer of snowpack will have like a maroon reddish hue, almost like a blood red. It's really interesting. And and it's only on certain layers of the snow too, of the pack. So like the top layer might not even be the top layer. It might just, you'll like step down and then you'll step up and it'll be like, it's like red snow and you're like, this is gross. Am I stepping on like a dead animal or something? But no, it's just the pine needles, the diffused color of the pine needle throughout the snow pack. It's interesting. I mean, it's more pronounced than this, so let's put it that way. This is not what I'm talking about. I mean, kind of, but it's like way more red, way more noticeable. Okay, here we go. Yep, nice little. So, kind of walking along this ridge line here. Falling down that would not be fun. I think I've seen some ski. Oh, come on. Come on, you sanitize that. I bet everyone's touched that. Just kidding. But for real, though, it probably does need to be sanitized. Yeah. Why are these people so fucking loud? I hate it. Fucking hate it. Like, nice and peaceful and quiet up there, and then the more I get down here, the more it's like, it's actually louder than in the city sometimes. It feels like, because the Raven Mansion's going up to get up the canyon. It's just stay down there, you assholes. Go away. Keep your damn loud motorcycles away from here. Okay, I bet they get loud enough that they can like literally trigger avalanches, I bet. If they were actually up here, that is, but from down there it wouldn't happen, but that would be ironic though, if someone did that and then triggered a bunch of rocks that fall on them, squish them. That's what they deserve. No, probably not, but still. I might feel some schadenfreude if that were to happen. Okay. think I'll stop recording.